Business owners often view their customers as one big generic group, but we know that in reality they aren't all the same. Some customers spend more than others, some are definitely less hassle than others, and some are a hell of a lot more fun to work with. And to attract customers, you have to spend valuable time, money and effort on marketing to get them. It makes complete sense to focus on not just getting any customer, but to focus on getting more of what would be an ideal customer. Now, some of you may be thinking, I can't afford to be that choosy about who my customers are. Really? Well, if you don't want to stand out above the rest of your competition when people carry out an online search, then keep thinking that way. But if you want to easily get their attention, if you want to engage and connect with them at a level where they will know, like and trust you just like an old friend, if you want them to buy from you without too much mucking around, then you know it has to be all about who your ideal customer is and focus your efforts on them. Everything you do should be about helping your potential customers get the result they are looking for, because the process of building a connection and engagement with your audience is based on you being able to demonstrate that you understand their needs, the challenges and frustrations better than anyone else, and that your product or service will give them the result or outcome they're looking for. Basically, all of your communications and dialogue should all be about your customers and not you. And a good quick test to see the effect of doing this is to take a look at someone's website copy or promotional material. How many times do they use the word we? I've seen this constantly over the years with the businesses who submit listings to my online directories. It's all about them. We this, we that. It's very sad. And if you are using the word we over and over and over again in your copy, then I'm sorry, you are too focused on yourself and your business rather than your customers. But it's an easy fix though. Just think of how you can say the same things, but from their perspective. And I've also mentioned this before in the Narrow Your Focus lesson, but it's a good time to remind you of this. If you specialise, you win. You need to niche your business, or create a number of niches which you serve, so that you present yourself as a specialist to that particular market and audience, and not as the generalist. As consumers and customers ourselves, we all know that we have many choices in the products or services we buy and who we can buy them from. But we also know that if something is really important to us, then we want to make that purchase from a specialist rather than a generalist. Because we believe a specialist understands our special needs and are also experts in their area, we also believe that we'll get the best product or service. Become a specialist and you are basically redrawing that competitive landscape. You're separating yourself from the crowd, and by being a specialist, you're less prone to direct competitor pricing pressures. So by marketing your products or services as those of a specialist, you build a more immediate connection with your ideal audience. So who the hell is this ideal audience? You have to try to build up a better picture of who your ideal customer is. You may have heard of the customer avatar before, or the buyer persona. So yes, that is this idea. And even though we're not talking about blue people with long tails who live in trees, and Avatar was a really great movie by the way, apparently planning your marketing around a fictitious person whom you even name is the best way of understanding who your ideal customer really is. And various facts, figures, and a lot of guesses, I suppose, are used to create this persona. So you can start with the standard demographics of your market that people have used offline for eons, such things as age, gender, location, occupation, etc. Well, all of that can be useful to know for lots of businesses. But online, well, you also need to understand a lot more about your ideal customer. You need to take the time to learn about your audience, their needs, desires, goals, fears, and all of that stuff. Because that knowledge helps you find them online. Target them with the precise message they need to hear, to engage them and convert them into your ideal customer. So what's a customer avatar? Well, it's the profile of your ideal customer with all the personality traits and characteristics of those customers expressed as a single person. And in some industries, you may need to create several avatars if you have several versions of your ideal customer, as I do here at Your Brilliant Idea. And if you look at this list, which is taken from the YBI homepage at the time of making this video, you'll see that my ideal customer could be anyone or a mix of these type of people. They're already in a job, or currently unemployed, or looking for a new side gig, maybe already in a small business. They could be approaching or in retirement, or possibly a lot younger looking at career paths after school or college. And all of these people, what's common is they want to get started in an online career. Well, obviously it's not so ideal really, so I need to create several different personas to cover that lot. Now if you are already in business, your ideal customer avatar can be based on an existing customer you may already be familiar with, or a combination of those existing customers. But if you're not yet in business, then you probably need to guess a little bit more, hopefully based on some real research you have done. In other words, asking real people real questions. The key point of all of this is that your ideal customer avatar has to be a specific individual. I'm saying this over and over again so that it does sink in. Has to be a real person with a specific age and gender, with interests and challenges and desires. And to make them even more real, you could give them a name and find a picture to represent them. Because the more realistic you can make your ideal customer avatar, the easier it will be for you to build a real profile, character and personality for them. Now this avatar may be quite simple to start with, but as you develop your messages and connect with your target audience, the more you learn about them, then the more detail and depth you can add to your ideal customer avatar. You can then start to develop messages which can more clearly and powerfully connect their needs and desires with your products or services. This connection between a clearly defined customer avatar and focused product or service messages, where your marketing messages are clearly aligned to an identified market need, will drive attraction, engagement, and conversion of a prospect into a customer. So here are 5 quick tips on creating your avatar. 1. Give them a name and a specific age, even a birthday if you like. By giving your avatar a name, it becomes a shortcut to you communicating your ideal customer persona to colleagues or suppliers and partners. 2. Have a photo of them. Print out a photo of them and stick it on your wall, or keep it at hand when you're creating new messages, promotions or emails. Remember, you're looking to build that engagement and connection. So the more clearly you can visualize your ideal customer, the better you can communicate with them. 3. Get personal and build a story around them. Everybody loves a story. Talk about their habits, likes and dislikes, challenges and frustrations, their family, their friends, their desires. 4. Be creative. Try to stretch your imagination to build extra depth into your avatar. Think about them in their everyday lives and what your product or service needs to do or offer them in order to gain their attention. And 5, once you have an avatar, then test it. I mean, you can use Facebook's demographic targeting to test age, gender, location, interests, challenges, and much more. By creating an ideal customer avatar, you can begin to really understand your potential customers and consequently focus your marketing efforts and budget where it will have the greatest impact. It will also help you better develop a lot of the content and promotional material you need to create in Module 5.